Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Team Gullit YouTube channel. My name is Renzo, and today we've got kind of an interesting video for you guys. This one is more a discussion and also an explanation of how exactly do formations work in FIFA, especially in FIFA 22. Kind of summarizing all the formation that we've lately dropped on the channel, all the custom tactics of the players, including even myself. But how does formation actually work? Like, let's say you're using your own 4-2-3-1 or your own 4-4-2. I'm just going to be talking about that. You might want to treat this video more as a podcast than just watching, but we will feature all the instructions and tactics in here as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this type of content. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comment section what you'd like to see next. Like always, sit back, relax, and enjoy. First of all, this is the team that I am rocking nowadays. It is a very good team, not gonna lie. It is not the best team because you guys have seen Levy and Dani's team, which is absolutely incredible. Also, Rusvan's team obviously is a really great team. But starting off, the first formation, the 4-4-2. The 4-4-2 pretty much says it: 4 players at the back, 4 in the midfield, 2 in the attack. Pretty balanced, right? That's why, in this case, 4-4-2 is considered to be one of the more balanced formations. Why is that? Pretty much, like I said, you have 2 central midfielders which can offer you the defensive help, not defensive security. I'll just put it as help. 2 wingers, 2 strikers, and obviously 4 defenders. Anyway, what type of instructions would you use, or tactics I should call it more? Balanced. Width and depth, put it on like 70. That is the best in my opinion. But then again, for forward chance creation, I should say, you can use forward runs or direct passing as well. But I like to keep it balanced myself. And why is the 4-4-2 so good? It is a formation that has this type of play where you can play either fast or slow, just because it has variety all across the pitch. 2 central midfielders which you can use and build up, 2 strikers in which you can do 1-2s, 1-2 combination between the strikers. You can use wing play because of the right and left mid that allow you to actually reach the back line, for example, and then pass it into one of your strikers. But why is this formation not the best? Well, it is one of the better formations, but what is its weakness? The weakness is that the 4-4-2 doesn't give that defensive security. These central midfielders, Fofana and Kessie, they are defensive minded, but because the build-up doesn't have a cam, for example, you will be using the central midfielders in your attacks a lot of the times, in which if you involve players in your attacks, they are likely to push up into the box or around the box of your opponent, which on the counter-attack you can be very vulnerable against, because there's nobody really marking the striker or the cam of the opposition, for example. So it's easy for the opponent, well, easier for the opponent, to reach his strikers quickly on a counter-attack. And the 4-4-2 is known to be quite vulnerable on that. If you were to use the second variation, for example, the 4-4-2 is a little bit harder to attack in, because there's a big gap between your strikers and your CDMs. But it does allow a little bit of more defensive security. So that is a bit of the weakness of the 4-4-2. But then the 4-2-3-1. This is probably the most balanced formation that there is available to you. That's why we also choose for defensive style of balance. Not too much change in the width and depth. Build-up play, balance, and chance creation you can do. Balanced or possession. Possession if you are very good in passing combinations. Also, some people use long balls, some people use balance as build-up play. But possession is probably the best with 4-2-3-1. But like I said, you have to be really patient. Also, players in box on like 6-7 is important in a 4-2-3-1. Why is that? Well, the 4-2-3-1, it already says it. 1 striker. You have 3 kind of attacking midfielders. They're not left or right mids. They're left and attacking midfielders and right attacking midfielders, and a central attacking midfielder. The left attacking and right attacking midfield does give you a lot of space on the wing and variety to use wing play as well. But in this case, we do have that central attacking midfielder, which is going to be the most important player because he's going to be running our offense pretty much all the time. The CDMs do get involved in the attacks, but a lot less, and they don't need to be as involved as much because we have this cam, which is allowing us more defensive security because these CDMs will actually sit in front of the defense to prevent these quick counterattacks more often than not. And that's why it's so good when it's balanced. The weakness of the 4-2-3-1 though is if you're cam or if you can't really get a move going with your cam, you're limited in the middle because there's only one striker there to help you. So you're kind of forced to always go down the wing, and sometimes if you want to go a bit faster, if you're a player that likes to attack fast, the 4-2-3-1 isn't made for you. It simply isn't. The weakness of the 4-2-3-1 is that you always have to go, well, not always, but most of the time have to go slow and secure. But then, the next formation, 4-3-2-1. Press off the possession loss is something that is very good with the 4-3-2-1. This formation is also used more as a comeback formation if you're trailing by maybe a goal or two. But if you're going to use this as a standard formation, like from the start, you can use balanced defensive style. The width and depth, like I said, just take them for granted. You can look up 4-3-2-1 special guides, especially on our channel as well, to see if you can change this around a little bit. But the best is probably direct passing or fast build-up, or forward runs, I should say, together with fast build-up. And why is the 4-3-2-1 so good? I almost forgot. I almost forgot, like, I did pre-record the gameplay, but because the mic wasn't well, I should have recorded this live, but I'm just going to show you the instructions. I forgot that in the live recording. So quickly moving on to the instructions. On every single formation, this is the 4-2-3-1. Like I said, just pause it, please. If you want to see what instruction is on every single formation, just pause the frames, you guys see it. And for the next formation, like I said, 4-3-2-1, it is most important that the strikers are on stay central and getting behind. Why is that? Because we have a right forward, left forward, and striker. And this is so good because on FIFA 22, the driven pass into the box is almost undefendable. You can't intercept it. And now we have 3 strikers that are actually trying to make runs and getting into space inside the box. So how are you going to defend that? Most people use 2 center backs. So the fullbacks have to either cut inside really a lot, like stay really narrow as a defensive line, but most of the time they don't. So that's why this formation is very strong right now. It's limited on the wings because, like I said, they're right and left forwards. It's not really like they offer you wing play. So if you like wing play, this formation is not for you. And also, if your opponent is playing a lot down the wings, you will struggle against him on the defensive end because these 3 center mids, they do tend to just cover the central of the pitch more, even if you have cover wing on them. It's just some formations are just made like that, and instructions I feel like offer you a little bit of an extra variety, but usually it's not like Fofana is constantly going to cover a right mid if you have cover wing. No, he's just going to be a little bit more spread than he would if you had cover center. But the weakness then definitely is for the 4-3-2-1 that defensive security down the wing doesn't exist. This formation offers you a lot of scoring opportunities, like you're going to have lots and lots of good attacks, easy attacks, but also on the other end you're likely to concede goals with this formation. So if you're happy to play 4-3 or 5-4 or 6-5 every single game, this formation is made for you. But if you're not the best at quick counter-attacking football, the 4-3-2-1 is not really the best formation to use. If you like this kind of build-up, Guardiola-esque, 4-2-3-1 is your go-to. But then, the last formation that we're covering in this video is the 4-3-1-2. Also, the 4-1-2-1-2 second variation is quite similar, but I'll explain that in a second. In this one as well, balance or press off the possession loss. Press off the possession loss is one that you might use more if you use this formation as like a comeback formation, like I said, with a 4-3-2-1 as well. But some people like to use this from the start as well because they just like this risk versus reward kind of gameplay. Balance if you don't want to risk any defensive mistakes. Fast build up, really important on this as well. You could try balance, direct passing, or forward runs. The 4-3-1-2, like it says, 4-3-1-2. We have a cam in there, and that's why this formation is absolutely brilliant, because it has this triangle up front, and this triangle up front is really hard to stop, because the central attacking midfielder in this case, like you can see, stay forward. The strikers are on stay center and get in behind, by the way. Because he's staying forward, is almost at every single counter attack or that you win the ball. He's in space. He's available. He's just in that right space to be played a pass to, and then there's two strikers in front of him that are making a run. What happens then? Your opponent has to choose, okay, who am I marking? Who am I marking? And if he doesn't, then the central attack, and if he's marking him and not attacking the central attacking midfielder, the central attacking midfielder can literally push up for maybe 10-20 meters to just attack your opponent's backline. And also, if you're just reaching the striker at first, he always has an option to drop it back for a 1-2 combination with Messi. So Mbappe, like let's say you win the ball up high on the pitch, you just pass it to or up high on the pitch, even in your own box, you pass it to Mbappe. He can literally put a L1 pass backwards to Messi and make the run immediately, which always is tricky for the opponent to cover at most of the time. But again, these three central midfielders do tend to have a bit of a weakness in 4-3-1-2 and 4-1-2-1-2 second variation. The second variation has a CDM. This one has a center mid. The center mid doesn't really cover a lot. You can put stay back and cover center, but it's not like he's going to be that defensive. This formation is also very attacking minded and again vulnerable for wing play. That is definitely the weakness. The weakness to these formations, the 4-3-2-1 and the 4-3-1-2 and the 4-1-2-1-2 second variation, it's just that attacking they are very good, quick passing, lots of space up front, but also defensively not the greatest, because it's vulnerable, especially down the wing. Anyway, this was a very long video. I hope you guys enjoyed this type of content, just covering some of the formations and why it's good, why not. Instructions were a bit fast, but you guys are surely going to be able to find them if you look up the formation guides on our channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. See you guys in the next one. Ciao, ciao.